Good evening, campers, and welcome back to Lotusoperations. And here's part 2 of our off-the-grid water hydroponics system. So let's begin. Okay, everybody, and welcome back. And I'm sorry that it took me a few days to get the second part of the video up, but it took me some time to actually find a good potential location to where I was actually able to access and get to some actual water to where I could actually properly do the video for you. The previous location that I wanted to do, by the time I actually got there, was all dried up and I had no water to be able to do it. So I had to search for a new location that wasn't private property or anyone else's land or had easy access. So let's begin the actual rest of the video. Okay guys, well, welcome back to Lotusoperations, and as you can see, we have everything we need here to float our craft. And today for the flotation devices, I'm going to be using pool floaties because I had these on hand, and like I said, you use what is around you at the time, what is available. And this is not big enough to actually properly store the bottles on that I wanted to do. They were having potential issues of coming off, so I said, well, maybe the pool floaties will work even better. And then we have our rope that y'all saw that was used from the mattress, and then I have my stick to stake it in place. Now the river we're going to be using is right over here. Yes, it's in the middle of town, so unfortunately I am not going to be able to keep this in the water to actually grow the food like I really wanted to do, but we are going to give you the ideal of how it works and what it is supposed to do, so you get the concept of what is going to happen. So we're going to inflate the floaties. We're going to slip the floaties over these so we can have our little inflation devices, and we are going to set it in the water so you can see how it works. So let's do this. Okay, you can see we got our floaties inflated on this. Now, if these don't work that well, of course, then you would grab a bigger item to inflate on the bottom. It's a trial and error, so you first wanted to get it inflated to the level you want, and then you add your dirt, or if you're going to add a ton of dirt, of course, you're going to do bigger items. So before you even plant your garden, it's going to be trial and error until you get it to where you want it, and then you begin planting. But we're going to float this over there so y'all can see how it floats, how it draws the water in, basically the ideal behind it, and then we will see, how well it works or not. Okay, I just hope I don't fall in here or pop my floaties as we are going down into the water ledge. So basically, you're going to insert your craft into the water, and then it's basically going to float, as the ideal behind it is going to go over. Now, as you can see here, this is basically the ideal behind the floating raft. Your string, if you got a string, will help hold it and keep it from floating away if it's in certain areas, or even if it's in a still pond, you would be able to pull your garden towards you to be able to make harvest. And as you can see here, we would need a little bit thicker bottles because of the fact that the water is entering the top of the craft on the back side. So the back sides would need to be inflated a little bit more, and you would adjust it until you get it to where you want it. And then the water being in there and stuff like that would, of course, basically saturate the dirt and things like that. Oh, a little bit higher and out of the ants over here. So the water would get inside here, which would then saturate the dirt, and depending upon how much water you want in it would determine what type of gardens you're able to grow. So basically, this is the concept behind this, but of course, like with anything, it's going to be a trial and error because not everything is going to work immediately the first time. Okay guys, well, I kind of hope you like the ideal that I'm trying to get when I'm building this. Now, of course, one side was more top heavy than the other, and I didn't take that into consideration with the floaties because one side had a little bit more wood on it than the other. So that's why I said whenever you build stuff like this, there's going to be trial and error before you even load your dirt on there, because it was already having a lot of water in it as it is with the floaties, and I didn't even add dirt to it yet. So now you got to take that weight into consideration, and then you're going to have to adjust on what type of bottles you're going to need. Now, the whole point and the principle behind all this is a natural hydroponics system to where the environment itself grows your plants. Your plants takes the nutrients. The water is given to the plants naturally, and the nutrients from the ground and the fish and the other biodegradable stuff within the waters is given to the plants for the nutrients so the plants can be able to grow. The only warning that I do have to give you with this is that make sure you do not give it in any contaminated water whatsoever, because then your fruits and your vegetables or whatever you're planting will also absorb that hazardous material or the contamination, and then you are poisoning your own food. So if I do find an actual location where I can grow food that gives me better results and I actually get the better results, I'll actually do another short video with my system actually in the working progress. I saved it. I don't want to get rid of it because I really want to see it work. But unfortunately, here in this location I was not able to plant it, and it wouldn't have worked with as fast as the water was running because it would have yanked it away and sunk the craft. So Lotus Operations out. I hope y'all had fun. I hope y'all get the concept, and if y'all have any suggestions, leave them below in the comments. I am free to answer any comments that is necessary. But sorry for the confusion. Lotus Operations out, and y'all have fun.